I want to talk about, you know how societies can get trapped in a circle all the time, humans being together, any society being together, and how, this is what I've worked out, and how they can get trapped in a circle, or pretty much doing the same thing over time, and over time, for thousands of years. They've changed a lot, like they get to know more on that, but there's similar tactics, and what keeps happening keeps being a circle. You know how I realise that happens? Is because it's the elite that do it. See, every time a society has collapsed, the elite, right, they get away. They go underground, they go somewhere with all the money, something, or some other currency, so they can restart. They know the next currency, they'll be on the next thing. If they do that, so every collapse, right, all they do is they play a game, oh, we'll try to do things right, or we'll look good, we'll go a new way. But the problem is, it's these bad people who are doing it. And they get the restart, and they get to start the next society. But they're bad. They can't help but be greedy all the time. They're greedy people. And because they're greedy, every time these societies start, they collapse. You know what would happen with that too? They would get better and better societies, but they'll always collapse because of greed and probably envy as well, right? And so it makes more greed. And they have an end game all the time. Like the end game now, we're only heading to destruction at the moment, right? It's time of point, and most people are talking about around the world. And if that happened now, and we got to a point where most of us can't live, and there's all these, we're moving out of cities and stuff like that, and things get destroyed, like we've already done in previous societies and ways of living. That's why we've got all those things we're checking out now from history. What do you think? We're going to repeat? Something's going to happen like this society, where the rich get away again, and they get to go start the next one? Because the poor might be two groups again. That probably happens a lot, where the poor scatter the other way, and they're left there, they hide, they start their own thing. But the bad ones, the ones that cause the problem, as I see it, they've got all the toys, all the gold. See, back in the old days, there was always something they got most of, and they come back. And they cause problems. They go collect people again. They go around, all the other people and because when you go and you're not into another big group, another one will just come and make a group and come get you. It's the biggest group. So you always look in the world, who's the biggest group and how do they act? Because that's the best. So the biggest group and how they act's the best what we got. And if it's right and working well, that's great. But if we've got their best is failing, well, there's your point of what's going to happen is that society. It's going to fail until their best can fix it. Because there's no use having their best, and you could have a million poor people who can speak all day long and can fix things, but are not in the position. And I bet you back in the day when all these societies collapsed, it was probably those people, and they either went and killed them or they didn't speak. And so that's the inevitable happens. Anyway, people, I thought I'd chuck that out there about why I think we repeat a lot when it comes to societies. Because we haven't had that one time yet before the society collapsed. Here's a theory for you. Wouldn't it be cool, just before society collapses, that they actually get their shit together and go, we don't actually need a collapse. We got a lot of things right. We just need to stop a lot of other things. We just need to stop a lot of things and then keep going with what we got right. All of us now. Why do we have to get to the collapse point? Just look back in society, people go, oh, it happened so suddenly, right? Or within a decade, and some stayed and some left, right? Just think of what's happening already, right? Why does it happen? It's because the evil people keep it going to the end, because they know they're going to duck off again, and they've got plan B. You know, like this underground city. Check out the underground city they've made that's linked to banks and stuff like that, and people have gone into overseas. And I understand underground stuff, but an underground city, like, they think they're going to make money on that when we've got all these problems as well. We can spend money on other things, and yet they're spending money on an underground city, which will only be a benefit, really, definitely the way we're going through things. We're not got everything right here to just be mucking around with underground cities to go check it out, or just in case. Is if you think you're going to need it. So whoever's building these, just ask them really why they're getting built for real, right? They must be going to be getting used, hopefully, to go that far, because the more you go underground, the more likely, and the more you do underground, the more likely you're going to have to use it, isn't it? Wouldn't want to have that too much backup, because we've already seen what happens when we've made bunkers. They never got used, right, because they're backup. So we mostly made small ones. Most people didn't lose out too much, but the bigger you went back then, the more you lost out, wasn't it? Hopefully it'll end up being the same thing again for these people who've done an underground city, or they can just have it another way of living. But I don't know, some people like to live like that, I guess so, and have cows under there and all that kind of stuff, and have people to live like that all the time, even though you can live up here. I guess you can do that if you want to. If they want to do that, knock themselves out, and just in case a tragedy did happen, at least they can look at, oh, we should be right, but a tragedy might happen under there too. Tragedies happen no matter where you are. Tragedies happen, right? They can collapse and lava come up and get them, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, alright people, before I start blabbing too much, because I've got to save things for me, to help me and to help Emma know what I do, and so she can look up to me and understand what I do. So I'm not going to talk so much, is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I don't get looked up to what I do differently. I get looked down. It makes me feel a little down, but I'm going to keep on trucking. But anyway people, bye bye, see ya.